So where I'm stood right now, this is what is referred to in the Mindenhurst development plans as Mindenhurst Plateau. I think that's what they call it. And this is the Carla Homes, the new phase Carla Homes development. And if you've ever walked around the Sangs or around Deepcut and you ever spotted the old Army assault course, that's what's behind me right now. Okay. Now, one of the things that I think is really, really unfair about these proposals by Surrey Heath Borough Council, and if you put all the party political stuff to one side, you know, like the fact that they say the council's going skint, whether you believe that or not, put all that to one side, right? All the party politics, and you think about the fairness of what is happening right now, and why, you know, I'm so pissed off with the 3 councillors in Deepcut, because, you know, they're not fighting Residents' Corner. They clearly are not spending enough time in Deepcut itself, walking around, having a walk round and seeing what's going on, talking to residents, talking to businesses, doing what they're meant to be doing. Because if they were doing that, they'd understand, and they would be in touch with the unfairness of the proposal to sell our tiny village car park that businesses and residents rely on so much for lots of different reasons, you know, which I won't go into now because you've probably heard it all before. But the unfairness of it, and that's what I want to demonstrate in this video, because every council has a target for building houses, right, under their own local plan, right? It's all technical, very complicated stuff, but, you know, there is actually, believe it or not, a plan that the council sort of follows when it comes to development. And in the current local plan, which will soon become the old local plan, because they're in the middle of sorting out a new one apparently. Basically, Deepcut and the Mindenhurst development alone, that's not the, doesn't include the Frimhurst Farm development or any other little bits and pieces that are popping up in Deepcut, but just the Mindenhurst development alone accounts for almost 50% of the overall borough target for housing between whenever they started that local plan, and I think it was 2026, right? So the 1,200 houses for Mindenhurst, like I say, is half that target, right? Now, the thing is this, residents in Deepcut have been very pragmatic, right? There was only one part of the original proposal for Mindenhurst that they were opposed to, and to be honest, that was the last biggest issue to impact Deepcut. And back then I was recording videos and podcasts and making a nuisance of myself then, because that particular thing, which I don't need to say what it is, everyone knows if they were around back then, will know what was the campaign that I got behind and was recording videos about back then, and was successful in getting that proposal kicked into the long grass, okay? But anyway, I'm fired up now to start again, because I see some other unfairness, because 1,200 houses, half the borough target, and now your local councillors, if you live in Deepcut, your local councillors are fully behind the proposal to get rid of our tiny little village car park that everyone relies on so much, right, and sell it off to the highest bidder to create even more housing in Deepcut. Now, when you consider all the different areas across the borough, and some areas, so let me think now, there's very little, there's some areas in the borough that have very little scope for development, because there's literally just no room left, unless you build on the recreation spaces. There's an idea. Oh, actually, sounds like they already want to do that with Hollyhead Road, but anyway, let's not go into that right now. This is about Deepcut. But but they want to sell off our car park and put even more houses in Deepcut, right? Now, I think the reason why they're doing that is because residents in Deepcut have been very pragmatic over the years. They've said, all right, well, Princess Royal Barracks is a brownfield site. The army are going. You know, there's not much point trying to oppose something that, you know, is needed and all the rest of it. But at the same time, we don't want the piss taken out of us, which is what's happening now with this car park, right? So that's the unfairness of it, and it's really, really disheartening, disappointing that the three borough councillors for Deepcut are not fighting your corner, right? Last night we had to form a flipping business association to try and you know, get some official representation of the businesses. Why have they got to do that? Trading's difficult enough as it is at the moment, with the council increasing parking charges all over the place. It's tough enough on businesses as it is, right? And this here behind me, I just wanted to show you that because it's happening right now. I forget how many houses are going to go on this parcel. It's several hundred though. Several hundred houses that they're building right now. You can see behind me, they got rid of the assault course. They've flattened out all the land. They've filtered out all the rubble. They've erected barriers, smooth snake barriers all around. Not smooth snake, beg your pardon. Slow worm barriers all the way around. All the way around the perimeter of this to protect the ecology. And you can see those pipes behind me. That's all the infrastructure that they're going to be putting in any day now. They're just getting that ready now to put that infrastructure in, all the drainage, the water, the telecommunications, the utility, all going in. That's what they're doing right now, getting ready there before the brickies and the hod carriers rock up and start banging up those houses, right? We don't want any more houses in Deepcut. We've taken our fair share, thank you very much. 1,200 at Mindenhurst, a couple of hundred down the bottom there at Frimhurst Farm, and other little developments that have popped up in the village. Right, we've had our fair share. You know, there are other villages. I know the councillors are really out of touch in Deepcut, but just to educate them if they're watching this. Well, I know they are watching it because they watch everything I put out, right? You know, just to educate you, there are other villages, you know, in Surrey Heath. So you've got Lightwater, Bagshot, Chobham, bloody hell, in Chobham, there's loads of room there to stick houses. And they wanted to do that, Fair Oaks Airport, but oh no. No. Stick them all in Deepcut. We don't want that in Chobham, the resident said there. Said to Michael Gover, recorded a video about him yesterday, do you remember? I'll stick it up here so you can watch it and remember the campaign to get Fair Oaks battered into the long grass, or is it that side? Can't remember which side the card will come up. But anyway, there are other villages in Surrey Heath. Like I said, Lightwater, Bagshot, Chobham, Frimley, Camberley, St Michael's, Watchetts. Loads of room in Watchetts, Crabtree Park. I think there was a proposal to put a development there in the past. They managed to get that kicked into the long grass. No, don't need to put it here. Deepcut will have it. Don't you worry about that. Deepcut, they don't moan about anything. You know, they're very pragmatic, very sensible people. They'll understand. No, we don't understand. Enough's enough. Stick your houses somewhere else. We've got enough here, thank you very much. Okay, and the three borough councillors might want to remember all the other little villages that there are around Surrey Heath. You know, we don't want them here in Deepcut. Just remember that. Remember the people you represent. Remember the businesses you represent. Get some of the other councillors in other areas to take some of the housing. So here's two other parcels of land that are being developed right now. So there's one there. I forget which developers. When I go have a walk over there, the sign will be there. It's either Wimpy or Blur. I think Blur owns Wimpy, Taylor Wimpy. So they're going to stick a load of houses on this bit here, you know, just by the school. And then across the road, Oh, and they chopped a load of trees down. See those mounds of earth there? That's sawdust from all the trees that they chopped down, right? And then ran through some kind of emaciator or whatever it is that they call it to make sawdust. So that's all there, right? So the Deepcut councillors have forgotten about that. And across the road here, oh God, the amount of people who were upset about all these trees that were chopped down on the other side of the road there, that you might be able to see on my video, right? I think that's a Taylor Wimpey site. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I can just see the sign now. Taylor Wimpey. They're going to stick a load of houses on there, and guess what? Right in the centre of my frame. Hang on, let me get my bearings. There it is. Right in the centre of my frame now is where our car park is. Right. That's our little village car park that your Deepcut councillors want to sell off, right? Forgetting, and they want to sell it off to put more houses there, forgetting that Deepcut's already getting 1,200 houses, almost half the borough target housing, right? Now, all right, got a bit of infrastructure, but that was the deal back then. You know, you go along with this, we'll give you a load of infrastructure, right? And they have, to be fair, they have given us some infrastructure. I would argue not enough. But one thing that we didn't expect is them to take away infrastructure rather than build more, right? And, you know, these oh, it's Bloor Homes, this segment here, this parcel of land, look. Bloor Homes coming soon. Let's have a look. Does it say how many? A fantastic collection of 2, 3 and 4 bedroom homes. That's what's going on there, where all those trees have just been chopped down, right? And across the road there, right, there's another load of houses going there. But your Deepcut councillors, and what's interesting is, and I'm not going to say exactly where he lives, but what's interesting is one of those councillors literally lives in a property that overlooks that field there where all those trees were chopped down and where Taylor Wimpey are going to build a load of other houses. He seems to have forgotten that, and his property also overlooks the car park. It's astonishing that he's forgotten. How could he forget that Deepcut had got all those houses, or getting all these houses, 1,200 new houses. That doesn't include a couple of other little developments that have popped up, right, in the village. But he's forgotten, and the other two are forgotten. One of which, by the way, is the chairman of planning. Can you believe that? He's the chairman of planning, so you'd think he would know about all the development that we're getting here in Deepcut, in the ward that he's supposed to represent, that he's never seen in, Lord Lucan, right? He's forgotten that Deepcut has got all this new housing, but yet he still wants to put even more. He wants to sell off our tiny village car park. All three of them do. They want to. All three councillors do. They want to sell off our tiny village car park, and they want to put more housing on it, even more. Yet there's all the other villages in Surrey Heath. What about them? Why don't they take a few of the houses? Now, some of them have, to be fair, and being a bit, what's the word? You know, a bit facetious. But we have got half, more than any other part of the borough. We've had enough, thank you very much. There you go, look at that. So Taylor Wimpey, what does that say? A development of 2, 3 and 4 bedroom homes right here, right opposite our new car park, right opposite one of the councillors that lives by that car park and this parcel of land here. How could they forget that there are other villages in the borough? Why do they want to stick everything here in Deepcut? Why do the Deepcut ward councillors want to turn our village into the arse end of the borough? That's what you got to ask yourselves. And I'll tell you the answer. It's politics. Pure and simple. They're putting party politics before you.